Howdy, welcome back to the channel. My name's Evan. So just to clarify a little bit, I was supposed to record this video last week, and it was supposed to go up last Sunday, but I ended up having to leave town for about 3 days because I was going to a Halloween party, so I didn't really get the chance to record it. But the reason I'm clarifying is because I know I haven't done one of these on the channel in a while, but these types of videos are essentially like a little weekly roundup of just like news I wanted to talk about that came out that week. But the reason I'm clarifying is because this one's basically going to be more like the last 2 weeks, because there's still stuff that I want to talk about that I missed because I didn't record last week. So that's all I wanted to say here at the beginning. So this first thing I wanted to talk about is something that I honestly kind of didn't forget about, but it just kind of, it's been so long since I've heard anything about it that it just kind of disappeared in my mind. But Jason Blum came out and stated that apparently they are now finally working on the script for the live-action Dead by Daylight movie, which like I said, it's a little surprising that they're just now getting to working on the script, because they announced this movie like a year and a half ago. I talked about it on the channel back when it was announced. It's been a really long time. But another thing he stated with this is that there's no set release date yet. It could take a year, it could take 5 years. Just they're not gonna start production fully until they get their script right. Which, you know, that's good to hear. It's good to hear that they're not just rushing into things and like really just like hurrying to get a script pushed out so that they can release a low effort movie to make a quick buck. I'm glad that they're taking their time with the script. Although me personally, I'm still a little confused on like what a Dead by Daylight movie would even really be. Like, if you've ever played the video game, I don't really know. I mean, it could make for a movie. It's not the most wild thing out there, the idea of them making a Dead by Daylight movie, but I don't know. It's just something I've had a hard time picturing since it was announced. But moving on to my next point, that's not even the main thing I wanted to talk about regarding Blumhouse that has come out in the last couple of weeks. Or Blumhouse, I'm still not entirely sure how you say it, but Jason Blum also came out and said that Blumhouse is partnering with MovieGen, an AI tool that can generate video clips up to 16 seconds in 1080p HD. So I know the conversation of AI has been like a real hot topic this last year or two. In my personal opinion, AI has no place in not just movies, but art in general. It should not be anywhere near it. It should not be in movies, literature, video games, TV, anything. So hearing that they're doing this, it's real disappointing, because they're not even the only ones. I think it was Disney or someone like a week or two ago said something about working with AI, and even earlier this year there was that movie Late Night with the Devil that had those AI made like title cards. And last year Marvel did it with Secret Invasion. Their entire intro was made with AI art, and it's real saddening to see, because like, it's not only does AI not have a place in art, it's anti-art, because it directly steals from actual human artists to make a bunch of random slop that looks 10 times worse. So it's just, every time I see a studio or a celebrity say that they're working with AI to make movies or TV or music or whatever, it's just always really disappointing. It sucks, man. It sucks real bad. And I'm not even saying that like AI in general doesn't have uses in other places as a tool. I'm just saying it doesn't have a place in art. Like, if you're gonna use AI, use it for something useful. Like in a medical field, it can be used for breakthroughs in that field, and that is moral. But in art, all it does is steal from other artists and puts people out of their jobs. I mean, it could kind of do that in a medical field too, but like, not really. It's a slippery slope to talk about, but in my opinion, it has no place in art. If you're going to use it anywhere, Use it somewhere where it can actually make breakthroughs that could save people's lives or something along those lines. Because in this field, it's just theft. And it probably won't even be a super long time before Hollywood starts using it for some super gross crap. Like, even last year, they already did that stupid thing in The Flash where they had, like, CGI Christopher Reeves. How long before they just start making AI recreations of dead people? When do we cross that line? Because I imagine it's not going to be long. This is why it has no place in art. It's just... ugh. But to move on from one disappointing topic to the next, I can't remember if this was this week or last week, but it's being reported that Juror Number 2, which if you don't know, it's the new Clint Eastwood movie that's coming out with Nicholas Hoult in it, is apparently getting not just a limited release, but an extremely limited release being put in less than 50 theaters. And this topic here, it's more so just an excuse for me to just kind of rib on Warner Brothers for a minute. I mean, I'm extremely sad about this film specifically too, because like, why even make this a limited release? It's a movie directed by Clint Eastwood, who is one of the biggest names in Hollywood history, starring Nicholas Hoult, who's not like a superstar name, but I'm sure there's like, he could put people in seats. But also, it's a courtroom drama directed by Clint Eastwood. I feel like there are plenty of people that would go and see that. Obviously, it's not going to make like $1 billion at the box office, but there's no reason to have it be a limited release. There's no reason to. But speaking of just like things that are anti-art, Warner Brothers as a company, it seems, is completely anti-art. Every time I hear about them making some new decision or anything like that, it seems like it's just the worst possible way to go about things. Every time. Like, canceling Batgirl as a tax write-off. Or canceling Coyote versus Acme. I don't know if that was also a tax write-off, but I wouldn't be surprised. Why are you canceling? It'd be one thing to announce a movie, but then cancel it before any progress is actually made on it, before anything is filmed. That still sucks, but it's, you know, what are you gonna do? These are entire movies that were made by hundreds, if not thousands of people. Well, not thousands, but hundreds of people. Put hours and hours of their lives into making these movies. And this company just completely shelved and deleted them to earn a little bit more money. Which is ridiculous. But what blows my mind even more, this one is specifically regarding Batgirl. I've never really seen this with Coyote versus Acme. But with Batgirl, I see people defending Warner Brothers, saying, oh, well, they said it was unwatchable and that it would sink the company. You want them to make that decision for you. You want them to decide the movie's bad so they don't give you the chance to form your own opinion. That makes it okay. They thought it was bad. You don't want to see it for yourself and decide if it's bad. That is corporate shilling on a level that I've never seen before, and it actually disgusts me, if I'm being completely honest. But to move on to a topic that's slightly less maddening. Apparently, Mike Flanagan is making a Carrie TV series for Amazon. Which, I don't have a ton to say about this. Number one, because I've never seen Carrie. I know, fake movie fan. You can crucify me in the comments if you want to. But also, I've never really seen any of Mike Flanagan's stuff either. I saw like half of Dr. Sleep several years ago. But other than that, I've never seen any of his stuff, so I feel like I'm not really one to give an opinion on this. But, you know, I've heard a lot of good stuff about Mike Flanagan's stuff, like Midnight Mass and Dr. Sleep itself, I've heard is really good. I need to finish it. There's a lot of stuff I need to get to. But, you know, and obviously Carrie is a horror classic. Absolutely. I've never seen it, but status alone, it's a horror classic. So this is something to keep your eye on. Now it's time for the reason why I wanted to make this video. Apparently, Tom Holland and Matt Damon are set to star in Christopher Nolan's next movie. Which just... Yep, I need that in my life. I don't know if I've ever said this on the channel, but I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan. Like, Interstellar is one of my favorite movies ever. I really love the Dark Knight trilogy. Oppenheimer last year was incredible. I'm just there for basically anything the guy does. But add on top of that, Matt Damon is returning to work with him, who was in Interstellar and Oppenheimer. And we're getting Tom Holland in it. Just, yep, I'm there day one for that. It's there are like conflicting rumors right now on what the plot is. I don't know if either of them are super reliable. The two things floating around right now is it's like a 1920s vampire movie, which could be sick. And then the other one floating around, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it's something like Matt Damon and Tom Holland are like helicopter pilots or something. I don't really know if either of them are reliable. I don't know, but I'm down for either one. Huge Chris Nolan fan. Really glad to see Tom Holland doing something not Spider-Man. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff that's not Spider-Man, but not all of it has been, super well received or widely loved. So it's good to see him do something that's not Spider-Man, that'll be seen by a lot more people and hopefully better received. Because the guy's a great actor, he's just had a really unfortunate run of projects that aren't MCU related. So hopefully this will be, the one. Now time to get back into some somewhat maddening news, but also somewhat not, kind of, in a way. So it was reported last week, or maybe it was this week, I can't remember, but the last couple weeks, that the MCU Blade movie has been delayed indefinitely. But it is also being reported that Mahershala Ali, who is set to star in it, and I believe has a hand in, I don't know if he's a producer or whatever, he is apparently happy with the direction that the film is taking. So, the MCU Blade movie is weird, because I don't know if everyone that's watching this has really been following the production of it, but it's been a mess, to say the least. The movie got announced in 2019, just to really set the scale of that. I was 14 when this movie was announced and Mahershala Ali was cast in the movie. 14, freshly a teenager. In about 3 or 4 months, I will be 20 years old, and by then, they still won't be filming this movie. I went from freshly a teenager to a grown man in the time it has taken them to even film a scene for this thing. Which is insane. Not unheard of, but insane. It's so sad, dude, because, when it got announced, I was like, it was so high on my list of things that I was most excited for, because this got announced at the same time as stuff like Shang-Chi, Eternals, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It got announced in that slate. So I was like, oh dude, I hope I don't have to wait too long for that one. I need that as soon as possible. Here we are, almost 6 years later, still waiting. But so it being delayed indefinitely, it sucks, but I can't say I'm surprised, because it seemed like every other week there was news coming out about it either being delayed or a director or writer dropping out or something along those lines. It's been happening for years at this point. It got to the point where every time I saw an article pop up with Blade as the main word that it started with, I was just worried that the next word after it was going to be canceled. It got to the point where I was worried this movie was going to be canceled, and it still might get canceled. But there is apparently some hope, because Mahershala Ali seems to be very happy with the way things are going. And I believe I also read that he has the ability now to make rewrites on the script, which could be a good thing, because he seems to be the only person that really wants to get this thing made as soon as possible. It's just mind-blowing to me. You have a character as popular as Blade. Blade, the man that is... Or not the man, but the character that is even the reason the MCU is allowed to exist. And you have an actor on the caliber of Mahershala Ali. And you want to mess around and just, like, wait forever until eventually Mahershala Ali is, like, 60 years old and no one wants to see it anymore. How was this not made as soon as it was announced? I don't understand how this is the one they're having so much trouble with. Not to, like, dumb down the concept of Blade too much, but, like, he's a cool man with a sword that kills vampires. It shouldn't be that hard to make a good Blade script and get a director to stay attached to the project. I don't know, man. I really want this movie to get made. I really do. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. But to keep it on the Marvel theme, and this one being a little bit, better news. Yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, they released a trailer for their upcoming slate of TV shows on Disney+. And we got first looks at Daredevil Born Again, and Wonder Man, Ironheart, and I think it used to be called Spider-Man Freshman Year, but I think now it's called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But all I really wanted to say is Daredevil Born Again looks great. Very happy that the show looks good. They had that creative overhaul where they like halted production and just reworked everything. Gotta say, it looks like it was for the better because the show looks good. It looks like it's basically just going to be Daredevil Season 4, which, thank Christ, that's exactly what I wanted. But also we got a first look at Wonder Man, which is, gotta say, a little surprising because it seems like we've all known Wonder Man is happening for a while. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we ever got like an official announcement from Marvel themselves that the show was happening. Or like any of the cast. It seems like everything I knew about the show, I just heard through reports and news sites. And never anything from Marvel or Kevin Feige or Disney or anyone. So it's a little wild that we just got like a teaser trailer before we got any kind of like announcements or anything. But aside from that, the show looks good. It looks interesting. Yahya Abdul-Mateen is playing Wonder Man, which he's a very good actor. You've probably seen him in stuff like Aquaman. He played Black Manta. He was also very briefly in The Greatest Showman, and also that Michael Bay movie, Ambulance, with Jake Gyllenhaal. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but those are just like the things that pop into my mind immediately. He's a good actor though, so I'm very interested to see what the show is like, because it looks completely different from the stuff that they've done so far. Also, Trevor Slattery from Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi is back in it, so that's fun. Ben Kingsley. Definitely going to keep my eye out for this one, because it looks interesting. But also got our first look at Ironheart. It feels like this show was filmed a decade ago. I know it was only like 2 or 3 years ago, but like, what took them so long with this one? It's been done filming for years at this point. Ironheart as a character got introduced in Black Panther 2, which came out like 2 years ago. I'm just curious why this show specifically took so long. I don't ever remember hearing anything about like production issues of any kind with this one, so I'm just no idea. It looks good though. Like, it gives very much like Iron Man 1 vibes, which is really cool. I love Iron Man 1. I liked Ironheart in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. She was cool in that. So another one I'm interested in. And then we have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the animated Spider-Man TV show that's coming to Disney Plus. Looks solid. The animation's not really what I was hoping for. It doesn't look bad. It's just, all the like promo art that they showed us for the show, it had like a very like 60s comic book style, and from the little teaser that we got in this trailer, it looks more like the MTV like Spider-Man show, the animated one from, I don't know, 2003, something like that. Also, the backgrounds look a bit empty, but I'm not gonna judge it before I see it. So once the show actually comes out, then But I'm sure the show itself, like story-wise and voice acting and stuff, will be good. It's just the art style is a little. It's not what I was hoping for personally, but yeah, Marvel TV seems like it's going to be pretty good in 2025, so that's cool. Now, this next one is not one that we have a lot of news on, but it's still something big that I felt was worth talking about. Apparently, the Wayans brothers are reuniting to make Scary Movie 6. Which is just wild. I didn't think they would ever make another scary movie. Because like, it feels like the whole fad of just parody films completely died out, like, post 2012, anywhere from 2012 to 2014. Just feels like that's just not a thing anymore. Which has me of two mindsets. On one, I'm worried. Because, like, how do you... I don't know, are they going to go with the exact same formula as before? I don't really know if that style of comedy works in this day and age. And I don't mean it in, like, the cringy way that some people talk about these movies in. Like, you can never make these kind of jokes today, you get canceled. Which just... no. But, that has me a little bit worried, because I don't know if that style of comedy really translates to this point in time. But also, it kind of has me more interested, because, like, that same reason has me more interested, because, like, how do you make Scary Movie in 2024? How much do you change the formula, or how much do you keep the same? Like, also, like, what movies are they going to be parodying? Like, are we going to get, like, a Longlegs parody? Or... I don't even know. Like, I'm interested in this. I'm cautiously optimistic. The fact that the Wayans brothers are reuniting to make it is honestly pretty crazy. That also gives me hope that it'll be, like, on the same caliber as, like, the first one. And I like the second and the third one. I don't know if everybody's as on board with those ones, but I know, like, the first one is the one that's, like, universally loved. I don't like 4 and 5, but very, very interested in this one, and cautiously optimistic. This one is also not one that we have a lot on. It's just something I saw as I was preparing to make this video, so I figured I'd just throw it in here real quick. They're making a Jumanji 3, or Jumanji 4? I don't know, another Jumanji movie, and I guess set in the same continuity as, the ones with The Rock and Kevin Hart. And it's set for a December 2026 release date, which is about 2 years away. So I guess they're going to be filming next year. I don't know if it's like a direct sequel, if it's going to have the same cast back, like Jack Black, Karen Gillan, The Rock, Kevin Hart, or if we're going to follow new characters, or what. I know they're not like great movies, but I don't know, I enjoyed the last two Jumanji movies. I think they're fun. They're just enjoyable, like, popcorn flicks. Nothing really groundbreaking, just something to go to the theaters and have a good time to watch. So I'll keep my eyes on this. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention it. And to close out the video, something I'm excited for. The other day, James Gunn confirmed that they are now working on the first trailer for Superman, which I know, shocking, director of movie making trailer for a movie that comes out next year. It's not really news, but it's just something I wanted to talk about because I haven't talked about Superman, like James Gunn's Superman movie, very much on this channel at all. I don't think I've talked about it a single time since I initially made that video on like the announcement for the entire slate. But I just wanted to take this moment to say this is one of my most anticipated movies of next year. I'm a huge Superman fan. I think he needs to be done right in live action again. Not trying to shade Zack Snyder or Henry Cavill or Man of Steel. I really like Man of Steel. I think it's a good movie. But I'm like a classic Superman guy, you know? I like the big blue Boy Scout vibes, just smiling, saving cats from trees, helping old ladies across the street. That's Superman. He is like the classic superhero. So it's nice. It's going to be nice to get back to that formula. If that's what it is. That's what it seems like it's going to be. All the set photos that have released have had me really pumped for it. The costume looks great. It's not exactly what I was hoping for. Like, it still has kind of like the lines all over the place, which aren't really, they don't really bug me on this suit as much as they do certain other ones, but still, it would be nice if they weren't there. But other than that, the suit looks great. It's interesting that they went with the Kingdom Come logo instead of just like a more classic looking Superman logo. I'm curious as to what the reasoning behind that was. I don't know if we're going to find out in the movie or if it was just like a creative decision, but very interested in that. Also, just the casting so far is superb. David Cornsweet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Like, there's not a single casting decision in this movie that has like given me pause. The closest one they got was Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Wouldn't have been my first choice, but I like Nathan Fillion. I'm sure he can pull it off. My only issue is he's a bit older than I would have gone for Guy Gardner. But I guess it seems like they do have a vision, because they also casted Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan, who I believe is in his 60s at this point. So it seems like the more classic Green Lanterns are older in age, and like the newer ones are like Jon Stewart and probably Kyle Rayner. I don't know if they're going to do Kyle Rayner, but it seems like they have a vision. I'm excited to see what it is. Superman looks great, and I'm very excited for that trailer. So keeping an eye out for that. And that about does it for the weekly roundup. This video was honestly a bit more negative than I originally intended it to be, but you know, just that's how it is sometimes. But there's still a lot of stuff to be excited for, a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to. I think next year is going to be a very good year for film and cinema. Very excited for a lot of stuff coming out next year. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. But that's about all I've got for you today. See ya.